Okay, gym owners, I hear this all the time. You want to know, why should I send newsletters to grow my business? For some reason, a lot of you still resist using newsletters because you don't like them or you think they're spam or whatever, some reason I can't understand. Well, I have an answer for you today to your question about why you should bother to send newsletters. And it comes straight from someone who's making it work. Lara Gallert, the OG Alloy personal training franchisee. She opened the very first Alloy franchise studio nearly 5 years ago in North Carolina. And she's here today to share her hard-earned wisdom on reaching and retaining fitness clients who are 40, 50, and older. And whether you run a gym or some other kind of business, Lara's insights are going to be invaluable. She has stories, real, practical, proven stories that can help you grow and give you an emotional boost to keep doing what you do. One of her stories is an absolute masterclass in why newsletters work. Seriously, I couldn't have made this up. If I tried to come up with this on my own as a commercial for my own business, you wouldn't believe me. Lara relates how she converted a long dormant prospect into a happy Alloy member just by showing up in her inbox. And you'll hear Lara tell it in her own words later in this episode. Now, Lara is one of the Alloy franchisees who have brought me on in the last year or so to help with their content and communications. I send 2 newsletters a week to their prospects and clients, helping them convert the prospects and build a valuable sense of community for their members. And as Alloy keeps growing, 100 studios open now, more than 300 locations sold, and who knows how many more to come. I hope to work with even more of them. So if you're an Alloy owner, I want you to go to my Alloy page to learn more. That's primefitcontent.com/Alloy for you Alloy owners. And don't worry, everyone who's not affiliated with Alloy, my business, Prime Fit Content, is still dedicated to helping you as well. Just visit primefitcontent.com to learn more. Now, you've heard Alloy founder Rick Mayo on this show before, and you've heard multiple franchisee Nick Garrity share his story. And now I'm really happy to introduce Lara Gallert. She's talking about the power of communicating, how it helps you connect with active agers who are hungry for the communications and for your help to live their best lives. Why she's a true believer in staying in touch with prospects and members through consistent, engaging, premium newsletters. I'm so glad I got to know Lara, and I'm excited for you to hear this conversation. Enjoy.
I was there and ran the Alloy licensee program until I heard Alloy was going into the franchise. They were going to transition from licensing to franchising. And so that was when I went through that process, with Alloy. And all because I truly believe in the product and how it does help this very large population that really and truthfully doesn't get a lot of attention, right? And they're, for the most part, falling through the cracks endlessly.
Yep, and that's what I want to talk about. That's why I'm in business. And that's why I'm so enamored of Alloy as well. And it's what I try to do with my other folks. I create and sell marketing materials to other gyms that want to reach people in the same demographic, and just made sense to hook up with you all because you're so good at it. And you have this great infrastructure. And so I love it. I'm a big fan. Have been for even before I started working with any of you. So.
Well, I think you're a great addition because it really is, at the end of the day, right? We get to see a client 1 hour a day, 2 times a week or 3 times a week. And it's really hard to grow that relationship with them and give them everything that they're looking for. So you taking your expertise and getting it out there to our clients when they're away from here really helps that relationship grow. And I think that's important.
Good. Well, I think so too. And I'm glad that you agree. And I feel like we're simpatico on so many things, which is another reason I wanted to have you on, just because I felt like we were singing the same song when we spoke before. So give the folks a little bit of the background that you alluded to a little bit there before, but you were at the club earlier and working with Alloy. And so like, what's your 50 words or less life story and how you got to be here today?
A life story on how I am where I am today. I had a previous career. I was a flight attendant for many years and thought that it was because I wanted to travel the world, which I did. But as years went on and it just wasn't something I could continue to do, and I had to deviate to a new career, it just made sense that it was personal training because it was something that you did as a flight attendant. If you were on a plane, you were gone. But once you got to the hotel, what was the first thing you did? Went to the gym. I was hired back in the 90s when, you did have to look a certain way, and it is a physically demanding job. So it was part of the play as your first, as your career. And then as I stopped flying, I was searching what it was I wanted to do. And my husband, really pointed out to me, you care about people, you love the gym, why not correlate the two together? And that's when I really transitioned into full-time in the fitness industry. And then as this brand shows, it really is about, if you care about people, you want to touch as many as you can. And this brand really Alloy allows you to help anybody coming through the door of any walk of life. So kind of fast forward, started with the club, worked with them, brought this product, the Alloy licensee in, and we ran the play, and really in the background really see people come into the gym and do their own thing and go to Group X classes and go to Pilates and go to spin. But really the people I always saw most connected and making the most change in their life overall were the people in the programming. So when I heard, years later, as Rick was going to take the franchising role out, or he was going to unroll it and just kind of handhold it a little bit more, I definitely wanted to be a part of that. So that's when I partnered with my partner at the time, and we became, the first Alloy. We're very excited to unroll our product. So July 1st, 2020 is when we officially opened our doors. Yeah.
Fantastic. You're coming up on 5 years, and you were the first one. And I think there are 100 now. Is that right? 100 that are open?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So you are the Eve figure. You're the original. You're the number one, the mama of the whole thing. How does that feel?
It's very special. I take a lot of pride in it. I take a lot of pride in what Alloy is and what it stands for. And I really try to empower my team to take that role each and every day. So, I really want them to come in and do their job. And I really want them to come in and have fun with these clients, because the population that we train, that 45 to 65-year-old client, right? Yeah. They've so much going on in their headspace. They are parents, they are empty nesters, they are jet setters, and their schedules are crazy and their lifestyle is hectic, and they've got a lot on their plate. Let's be honest, the world today is not an easy world to live in. The ability to allow our clients to come in whether they're having a good day and can give us 100%, or come in when they're having a bad day and say, hey, I've only got 70% in my bucket to give you, and we can say, that's fine, we're still going to take care of it.
Yeah.
And keep them moving forward. I think that's an integral part of our society. And, when we look at where obesity is today, and, now you look at everybody's looking for that quick fix. And this is not the quick fix, but it is the permanent fix. It is something that will put you on the road to be able to go out and play golf, to get on the floor with your grandkids, to still go skiing at the age of 50 and 60, right? Like tennis. All those things that if you aren't exercising and you aren't training and you aren't doing something for yourself, we lose those things as we age.
Yeah, we do. And that's the compelling message that I try to share. It's like, I like to ski. I grew up in Colorado and Alaska, so I grew up skiing, and I've lived in Atlanta for 25 years. So it's a challenge, but it's still probably my favorite thing. And I don't want to stop doing that just because I'm 61 years old, I don't see the reason why I should. So yet I take pains to be careful to explain to people that you don't have to ski. You don't have to do triathlons. You don't have to be a remarkable athlete just to be able to work in your garden or to play with your grandchild or to carry your luggage through the airport on your way to Europe that you're finally going to go on this trip you've been anticipating for years. That's the point. Like the what you do is, I don't want to say it's irrelevant, but it kind of is. The point really is just that you're able to do it.
Right. We have clients that come in, and we have one that it's her 3rd year with us, her 3rd year anniversary. And every summer they go on a big vacation to Europe. And past 2 years, she sat on the sidelines when they were going out and doing the activities. And she came in when we were meeting in an accountability session a couple weeks ago, and she said, so I signed up for this and this and this. All of the things that she was afraid to do, that she feels like her balance, her core strength, her stamina are all capable of doing the things that she's sat on the sidelines to do. So I feel like for all of us who have this great viewpoint, right? I'm going to work really hard for however many years, I'm going to retire, and then I'm going to travel. And then we get to that point and we have so many issues that are in front of us that we really never get to live out that dream. And to see people in here being able to fulfill their bucket lists, it makes me feel good inside,
Yeah.
when you get that feedback from clients and you see their confidence go up and they're super happy and their life is in a better place than it possibly could be without us.
Yep, absolutely. That's why I like writing about it, because the stories are so emotional, so uplifting. They really touch you where your heart is. A lot of these stories do that you're involved in. Now that Alloy's been up and out there for almost 5 years, you were the first one. A lot of folks down the line have benefited from your experiences. You were the first one to do a lot of things. What did you have to learn about your communications, maybe your marketing, maybe your approach to quote unquote selling fitness to slightly older people? What were some of the challenges and how did you overcome them?
Well, one of them is I did reach out to you. As it is, I love that Alloy has a template. So, we've run the play, and it allows us to focus on building the relationships with our customers and then educating our clients. We take for granted that they know all of the things that we have been learning all of our lives and continually educating ourselves on. So basic things like nutrition and movement and just taking a walk, or how these things, like you said, can benefit you in day-to-day life. It's integral to touching them to keep them in constant contact with you. And so in the beginning, when you're trying to launch a facility, you're busy trying to get everybody in the door. But once you are here, and we're not a large client model, right? We're 130 130 people are really our makeup of what we want as a customer basis. So how do you keep that 130? You can't continually be pulling them through the door. I think one of the things I pride myself on is, we do have a very high retention rate, and that's because we're building that relationship with those clients both on the floor and off the floor. And so you have to give them that, feed the knowledge to them of all these other areas of life, of what can I do when I'm not at the gym, or how can I make a better meal, or what really is good rest? How do I unwind when I'm having a stressful week? And that's where the newsletters can come into play to really help our clients. So I really feel Facebook has become marketing of advertising. Not a lot of people go there anymore. When people are doing quick videos, people watch them and they see them. But we do need to feed the brain, and that comes through reading and absorbing that knowledge, and newsletters really do that for them.
Well, I'm glad that that's been your experience, because that's what I'm basing my business on. And I don't want to make this all about me, but the last time you and I spoke, I think it was the last time, before you signed up with me, and we were talking about all kinds of things, and we were hitting it off and getting to know each other. And I don't want to misrepresent you, so correct me if I'm wrong, but the way I remember it is you said something like, should you have me send your newsletters to people you haven't been in touch with for a while? Or should you just forget about them because they don't want to hear from you after a certain period of time? And I said, oh no, let's hit them all. If they haven't heard from you in a while, that's okay. They asked to hear from you. And if they don't want it anymore, they can unsubscribe, and that's fine. You won't get your feelings hurt, and we'll move on. But let's send it to everybody. You never know. You might get one that says, oh, nice to hear from you again, Alloy. Yeah, sign me up.
It was just crazy. So we had agreed, and you said, okay, the first newsletter is going to go out on Tuesday morning at 7 a.m. And I'm literally not even out of bed, open my email, my work email, and there is a message from a client who had walked through our door 2 years prior. So she was still on our list, and she had gone through some personal issues, a lot of turmoil, and she had lost her husband, and her confidence was down. Her life has been just a hot mess. And man, she emailed me right then and there. I emailed her back, and I think we had her in within a week. And actually, I met with her earlier this week for her third accountability. And it's just been life-changing for her because losing her husband, she's lost some connection with what does she do with herself, and she's already met a friend. And so here they are training together, and they're helping each other. And she benefits the one because that one, she feels like I'm seasoned here, so I'm going to show her what to do. And it's given her someone to come to at the end of her workday rather than go home to an empty house and deal with that sadness. So it's just been amazing of how people will respond and hold on to things that we assume they don't want that information. So that was fantastic.
I'm glad. Thank you for relaying the story just now. I was so excited when you sent me that because it goes to, and the reason I want to talk about it now for other people to hear it, and this goes for any gym owner, whether you're an Alloy or not. A lot of people have these email lists that they're not doing anything with for one reason or another. Either you're tired of it, or you think it's not working, or you personally don't like getting emails, so you think that no one does. What have you, you're just not doing anything with that email. Then you start using it, and you immediately got someone who signed up and is now a good member, and you're helping that woman have a better life. And isn't that amazing?
Yeah, it shows us how we can continue to fulfill this audience by giving them this information. There is a need for it.
Hey, are you a fitness professional trying to grow your business with people over 50? If you are, then you need to know how to communicate with them, how to market to them, and how to get them to trust you with their fitness, well-being, and money. We're talking about millions of people who are a little older than the typical market that the fitness industry usually pursues. They have more money, more time, and better motivation to make the best long-term fitness consumers you'll find anywhere. If you're not focusing on them, you should be. PrimeFit Content is the only content marketing company designed specifically to help you engage people in this group and to help you distinguish yourself from competitors in your community. It's effective, affordable, and super easy to use. Check it out at primefitcontent.com. That's Prime, like Prime of your life, fitcontent.com. Back to the show. Yeah, I was really moved by that. I similarly have an email list that I correspond with my prospects. Send them things that I think that they'll find useful or interesting or relevant somehow that aren't sales pitchy. And whenever I get a new subscriber to my business, to PrimeFit Content, I ask them, how did you hear about me? What made you sign up with me? And every once in a while, someone says, well, I've been on your email list for a couple of years and I just finally decided to do it. And you think, really? Goodness gracious. It happens. We got to keep repeating the message and staying in front of people so that when they're ready, your woman went through life trauma and time passed and she was delighted to hear from you. And now she's changing her life. So the lesson, I think, is that we've just got to keep at it, even when we think, oh, I don't want to do this anymore.
Right. I think we really need to understand that doing this as long as I have, the majority of the people coming through the door that Alloy is geared for, and that the people you are trying to get the message to, right? That population, they did not grow up with exercise was a way of life,
Right.
especially the female population. So, you have an injury, well, you don't exercise. That's bad. And it's the opposite. Science has taught us differently. We know so much more now. So many of them are nervous, and to send that newsletter out for Prime Fit content to be touching all these audience people through all of the fitness places that utilize you is giving that message to the people that are probably wanting to read it behind closed doors because they're afraid. And, it's that one little thing that's going to help them just have that moment of confidence and hit a button or answer the newsletter and allow them to open a new chapter in their lives.
Yeah, I'm really glad that she's still coming in and that you've had 3 accountability sessions. That's great.
Yeah. And she's doing fantastic, like wrapping her head around how strength training is great for a female and how it's going to help her with her, her overall health and play with the grandkids and do more as she's aging. And for her, a concern is she's home alone now. So, she knows, hey, if I fall, Alloy has taught me how to get up properly.
Yeah.
And, so her independence is giving her a new confidence in her life.
That's just great. Can I ask how old is she?
She is 63.
Okay. Reason I ask is because I'm 61, and I really perked up when you said that previous generations didn't grow up with fitness. And that's something I talk about a lot because we forget or people much younger than I am don't know that previous generations didn't work out. There
Yes.
weren't gyms everywhere. There wasn't a Lifetime or a Bally's or Orange Theory, or take your pick. Hotels didn't have gyms. Your workplace didn't have gyms. It just wasn't a thing until like the late 70s, I guess, early 80s maybe. I remember when it happened. I was in college, high school and college, and that was the late 70s and early 80s when it became sort of normal for ordinary people to want to work out, to exercise, to have muscles, to watch their body weight, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And we forget that what's relevant is that anybody my age or older, so 60 or older, it wasn't part of life for our parents or our grandparents. This is a new thing. And a couple of months ago, I interviewed my college roommate for this podcast, and I wrote about her for Prime Fit content. So she's 61 as well. She has taken up powerlifting at this point in life, which just blows my mind because she was not what she was doing in college, put it that way. And so now she's doing powerlifting. And she said to me when we did the interview, she said, Jay, when we were kids, nobody told us this was important. No one told me I needed to lift weights. I never thought about it. And if I did, I would have thought it was something only boys wanted to do because they wanted big muscles.
And women, I remember for years we would hear, well, I don't want to lift because it's going to make me big. Not true.
Not true. If only it were that easy. Every time a woman says that, I want to say, how many men wish it were that easy, to just pick up a weight one time and suddenly you've got big muscles? It's a little harder than that. It wasn't part of our culture. And so we in fitness, me as a communicator, you as a gym owner, we have to remember that woman who called you and is now a member, she didn't know. A 40-year-old woman probably does, but a 65-year-old woman probably does not.
No, they for sure do not. I was born in the 60s myself, so I'm 57, and anytime I had an injury, my mom was the first person to say, the gym did it. It's because you were doing that, you were lifting those weights, or you were on that treadmill, or you were, doing, that was what she always negated to. And I always marched to the beat of a different drum all the way back then, but I'm very thankful for it now, because I think it's made a huge difference in my life. And I think it allows me to really relate with our clients when they're coming through the door.
What else are they coming through the door with? What else is on their mind? What do you hear from them commonly? Are they afraid? Are they nervous? Do they think that they're too old? Are they afraid they're going to get hurt? That people will make fun of them? What are the mental hang-ups that they're having?
So I feel that the majority of the people that, we really bring through the door, I mean, it is all walks of life. So it's male, it's female, it's every age. I mean, at the end of the day, I will say, you can even have your college student that, let's be honest, the youth of today, they don't have exercise. I mean, when I went to gym class, we had gym class, right? They don't have gym class like that anymore today. So we're such a sedentary society that people have such poor mobility and poor strength and movement patterns that if people aren't on a team and it hasn't been in their family background, that they're at a loss. So I would say, number one, people come through the door very, very afraid that they just can't do this, that they have to be stronger before they can come to us, that they need to lose 30 pounds before they can come to us, or if they have an injury that, that's keeping them from coming to us. So it kind of parlays me to another client that we have. She has been with us for 2 years, and she would come in all the time and say, I wish I could get my husband in here. Husband sits in front of a computer 40, 50 hours a week, mid-40s, young son at home, and back issues. So here we fast forward 2 years later, constant pain, very sedentary lifestyle. And she said to me, if I can go to the doctor visit with him and the doctor says he can come, will you see him? I said, has he had an injury? Is he having surgery? And she said, no, they don't know. His back hurts all the time. So we got him in, and he has been here for 3 months. And within his first week of doing movement patterns and exercises with us, he said that this is the first time his back has not been hurting him as bad as it was. So the body is made to move, right? We are a machine that is made to move. And the best thing we can do is allow our body to do what it was built to do.
Yep. I would like to talk to him about that, write about him for the Alloy newsletter. I think that would be a great example if you think he'd be up for it.
Yeah, definitely. We should connect and make that happen because he's in a better place and it's already giving him more energy during the day, better sleep at night, and they will have a better quality of family life.
Oh, that's great. Hey, so my messaging and Alloys are very similar, and I think that's why one of the reasons why I like working with you all so much. So tell me what messages really land, like what's effective with people to get them in here to meet you and to come and start working out, and then what maybe isn't so great. And I'm asking this because presumably gym owners within Alloy and gym owners outside of Alloy are listening to this, and you're a successful person, and so you've got perhaps some tips, I guess. So what are some marketing messaging suggestions that you would tell people to incorporate?
I mean, I think we are a culture, right? We have a culture and a community that we really want to help our people live a better life. We want them to get busy living and feel better and move better. Because we are personal training, it really is about getting to know each individual person's needs and where, what they have going on in life that is icky and what they have in life going on that to do. So it's just taking that time to reach out to those individuals and give them the relationship on the phone, in the newsletter, via text, to let them know they're going to come in and meet with us one-on-one. We're going to sit down, we're going to listen to what you have going on, and we're going to show you how we can help you. And alongside of that, you're in a very small community, so it's not large, it's not overwhelming. There are only up to 5 other people with you that are working with that coach, and that coach is going to be prepared for you. You're not coming to a class, you're coming to a session. We've already vetted you. We know what your injuries are. We know what you can do and can't do, what's comfortable, what's out of your box right now. And as you get stronger and you get more confident, we're going to know that because we're going to meet with you every 30 to 60 days. And we're going to reassess. We're going to show you where you're getting stronger. We're going to listen to how you're feeling. And we're going to make those changes in your programming for the next 30 to 60 days. And that's just a relationship part of the family of what continues to grow with us. So I think that's a real important thing is just, hey, come on in and meet with me. Let's just sit down and chat. Let's see each other and let's see where we can go with this.
Excellent. Well, I think it's just such important work that you're doing. And I'm so happy to be talking to the owner of the first Alloy. That is just really spectacular. And I'm happy that you and I are working together and that we've had a good experience so far. And I just appreciate your vote of confidence in using me to help you grow your business.
Well, thank you. I mean, we are stronger together, right? When you have a team, when you have a community, and you can rely on the people who naturally gravitate and are better at certain things, utilize them. If I were trying to do a newsletter, we probably still wouldn't have one out. I appreciate that. That's something you have a passion for and you do it well. So for me to be able to give you content and then have you deliver it to the masses definitely helps me. But then I also see my clients on the background getting the information they've been waiting for or, subliminally needing, and then they're growing. So I think it's a great partnership.
Good. Now you're getting ready to go on vacation.
I am. We are going to Utila, the island of Utila.
Where is that?
It is a tiny island off of Honduras. 2 weeks ago, I was skiing, and now we are hopping on an airplane. I don't usually travel this much, but to go scuba diving. So, yeah.
Wow. Where did you go skiing?
We went up at Snowshoe, so just up in West Virginia. So
Okay.
It's a family gathering, kind of our family holiday. But that's where I say to you, I have some relatives that don't exercise, and their knees and their joints and their hips and their backs and even the cardio, right? To recognize to put all that equipment on and be able to get down the hill. Exercise changes your quality of life and allows you to do these things. So yeah.
I just can't imagine not being able to do whatever I want to. And when I was young, I lifted weights because I wanted big muscles and I wanted to look hot in a tight t-shirt, and those days are long behind me, whatever. I don't care anymore, but I can go skiing and I can do anything I want to because I go to the gym and take care of myself. And that's a message that it's not about me. It's about what it can do for other people too. Yeah, it's wonderful. Hey, I'm asking folks one last question. I'm trying to restart something that I used to do on the podcast. I used to say 3 things I like this week. And at the end of the conversation, I would say, here are 3 things I like this week. And they could be fitness related or not. It could be a book I'm reading or a new show I like or a new protein bar I found, whatever. And rather than talking about things I like, I'm asking people to tell me something that they like this week. And that can be anything relevant, irrelevant, fitness related or not. So what comes to mind when I say what's new that you like right now?
Well, I absolutely love that the weather changed in North Carolina and that the days are getting longer. So I feel like our energy is going up. So
yeah,
that is definitely something that I like this week.
Beautiful. Well, Lara, I can't thank you enough. It has been a delight getting to know you these last few months. And again, thank you for your support. And I hope you have a wonderful time scuba diving.
Thank you very much. It was wonderful getting together with you and you helping me be comfortable being uncomfortable. And I look forward to our next conversation.
Excellent. Well, we'll talk when you get back from your vacation.
Thank you.
Thanks. Thank you for listening to the Optimal Aging Podcast. I'm your host, Jay Croft of Prime Fit Content. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you'll subscribe, review, and tell a friend. All of that helps me grow my audience. I hope you'll share any comments you have with me, including suggestions about people I should interview and topics I should cover. You can learn more about my newsletter and content business at primefitcontent.com and write me at Jay@primefitcontent.com. And I'm on all the social channels. Again, thanks for listening. Join me next time.